Hello, champions, and welcome to the What's My Role podcast, episode 13. We're a group of adventurers exploring the many realms of World of Warcraft and MMOs, sharing our experiences, learning our roles together, and embracing the chaos. I'm being joined by Donnix.
Hey.
Golden.
Howdy.
GT Goat.
Yeah.
And VindowViper.
Hello.
And today we're going to discuss a little bit about Plunderstorm, of course, because that's the hot new thing. And then we might talk a little bit about how our first live stream that we just did last night. And then after that, if we got a little bit of extra time, we'll have Golden give us some ideas he's got for War Within. But, so, what do you guys think of Plunderstorm? Who wants to go first?
Plunderstorm should be more like Plungerstorm.
More like Blunderstorm.
It's it just feels so half-baked and cheap. I'm struggling, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that they're trying to do something, but it's something no one asked for. And when there's plenty of other things that people are wanting. So, yeah, it was just very anticlimactic and about 4 years too old. Or 4 years late.
Yeah. I had the same feeling as Donnix. I appreciate taking chances, but this is a genre that I feel like they should have put, if they wanted to do something like this, they could have pushed it out in an earlier time frame when all this Battle Royale stuff kicked off. And it feels odd when you're playing a tab targeting game. And I'm not hating on anybody who, if you're having a blast, that's great, you know, but you have a tab targeting game and then you take away tab targeting. If I wanted to play a Battle Royale, I would go play Fortnite, PUBG, you name it, you know? So I guess I was disappointed that it wasn't MMO necessarily related.
But like, how much better would it have been if it was a Battle Royale with like the actual tab targeting, like the actual WoW, like you land and you get some basic skills and stuff that you can start throwing your character together.
Yeah, I don't think that it would be better. I'm just saying it feels odd to go from a tab targeting game to not having it.
Yeah.
I think probably the weirdest thing about it is having to manually do your normal attack, which I feel like it's kind of weird because it just separates it so much from what you're used to with WoW. But I'm overall, like, if I'm just thinking of this as like a limited time event, like, oh, the Hearthstone event, or, you know, the Valentine's Day event, or, you know, whatever. A lot of their events are really kind of, nobody cares about them, right? You get your rewards, you do a couple quests, and then you're done. So if I'm comparing it to that, it's pretty cool, like for a limited time event. But if I'm being honest about how I feel about the mode overall, it's not like amazing. It's not horrible, but it's kind of just, it's not really what I want to do, you know? What did you think about it, Goat?
Agreed. Very much so agreed.
What, care to elaborate on that?
Well, you
Big
played that Royale thing the other night.
Yes, they did.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah. Focus.
And, no, I'm focused. I'm just trying to figure out how not to shit on it.
No, I mean,
shit on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you love it, let us know. If you hate it, let us know.
There was no love at all.
Well, I think like that's, you could pick apart things, and I think if they're going to look at things they did right, things they did wrong, so that maybe the next time they do something, whether it's a Battle Royale or not, probably not, but like, for instance, I like the items part, because you had like 2 offensive skills, you had 2 like defensive safety skills, and then you had your 5th slot for like items, and you had like barrels and like protectors and barricades and cool stuff that like felt unique, at least to it. Like getting out a barrel and chase someone down was kind of unique. I thought that was cool. I thought it actually felt good and unique. I didn't feel like the offensive spells felt unique or interesting. Like they just either had a straight line or they had kind of a charging system, or there was an AoE with a charge up to them. And I felt like that was a big miss.
Yeah. Using some of the abilities feels a little bit, I think, clunky is the word Donnix had used.
Very clunky. Very clunky.
Where, of course it feels nice to hit something, but it overall, like trying to aim it feels kind of unsatisfying.
Yeah.
This may have been something that they may have wanted people to try on PTR before they released. I get that they're trying to be like super secretive. Here's this big surprise, but you could definitely tell it wasn't well tested. In my opinion.
Yeah, I think like a big reason why I felt disappointed specifically was because of that whole, we're not going to do a public test. We're going to keep it all under wraps and hush hush. So it kind of gets everybody excited, like, there's something big coming, right? And, we're all thinking, something in WoW and not a completely separate mode that you're not even using your character to play. So I think that's kind of the main reason why I felt kind of bummed about it.
Yeah. MMOs are right. It's your character. Not everybody takes it this way, but typically it's like, this is your character in this world. So to play a battle royale when you're not your character in the MMO, it kind of separates it. It can be a little jarring. Yeah.
Well, I was hoping for like some cool ass pirate themed quest line where you got to do some cool shit and had a good story behind it, but instead we got in WoW Fortnite.
Well, I went and did I was leveling a new character and in normal WoW, and like I'm doing Pandaria with Allies side, where you like the first mission is you in like a floating ship, like, or a gyrocopter, just like unloading on things and blowing it up and like flying alongside like ships and stuff. And I'm like, that was already better than Plunderstorm. And that came out 2012, 2010. I forget what it was. It's like way back when.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they had given us something along those lines, how would you have felt if Plunderstorm was with your characters in the game and maybe there was a little bit more pirate aspect to it? Like you had a ship or there was some naval combat, or would that have helped at all for anybody?
The first quadruple A game released from Blizzard. Just making fun of the Skull and Bones. I don't know if you guys have been following that or not.
Yeah,
it's quadruple A, baby.
That game sucked.
I don't really know, man. I don't really feel. I'm kind of impartial to like anything event wise that comes out with WoW. I don't really, and no offense to anyone who plays it for those or enjoys those, but it's just not my thing. Like I don't necessarily care for events. I'll participate if I can get like a cool mount or something that I actually care about out of it, but I don't know.
Yeah. What did everybody think about like the whole the rewards track?
It seemed like there was some cool stuff in there. It's just I don't want to dig through it. Like near the end, there's some cool mounts and stuff that you can get in WoW.
Right.
And I was like, and both classic and retail, which is really cool to be able to incorporate both. But
yeah, I think it's a little grindy for something that's supposed to be a limited time event. And I agree with you, Bean. Like, if it's just this limited time event, it's cool, right? Like, it's something unique to offer in WoW. But I feel like if this is limited, man, you're really asking people to dedicate a lot of time to get those high end rewards,
Right.
I would much rather farm a mob for hours trying to get a mount to drop than to play that shit for a week to try and get to the very end of that renown.
Look, it sounds like we had more fun getting our shit pushed in playing PvP yesterday on the live stream. By the way, you should check out the live stream if you haven't. It was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit here.
Yep.
But
I'm jumping the gun, I know.
Yeah, I almost agree with that statement, but that's like directly comparing like the Hearthstone event to Plunderstorm, where you guys know I killed those stupid guys like a million times, and I was getting everything except for the 36 slot bag.
I don't know why you had such a hard time. I killed them once and got it.
You just weren't deemed worthy. That's all. The RNG gods just decided.
I did get it like on Thursday, like the last day before it was going to end.
First run, my first run on the event, I got the bag.
Same. My first run too.
My buddies
are about to get muted.
My buddy's been running Hallows Eve event every single year since BC came out or something like that, and he still hasn't gotten the invincible mount.
Wow.
He just can't get it. Not invincible.
Yeah, so I mean, I do enjoy doing that.
The Swordsman, sorry.
Yeah. But that's the shit that makes people come back and do it the next year and do it the next year.
Was it? I can't remember if it was Wrath of the Lich King or Cataclysm. I thought it was Cataclysm, but they had introduced achievements back then. And of course now it's everywhere. Achievements were all over the place. Xbox at the time was like the big one with their like Xbox achievements stuff. But the cool thing at the time was when they very first announced achievements and they were out, was there was a yearly quest. So, you know, we have Easter and we have Christmas and all these cool ones that have little quests they do during them. And they originally announced it said, if you did the big priority quest, like the big achievement that's did like all 5 things to do for that event, for every single thing throughout the year, you got this awesome mount. So that nobody could get the mount for a year after the release, which was like, holy crap, you got to grind for a year and get everything. Right. It was epic. And like, I don't know if people still do that now. I haven't really followed it. It might be a pathway to grab it, but is it worth it for some people? I don't know. But
yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't mind playing it a little bit, but like you had said, Golden, I really don't want to like spend hours on it trying to grind for a lot of these rewards. I've been playing it just a little bit each day because they did buff the renown you get. So I'm trying to just, maybe if I can just get a renown each day, it won't be so bad.
Yeah.
But when you do get to renown rank 5, you get like, there's a NPC vendor that unlocks in the Valdrakken Tavern. And he gives you a piece of raid gear. So it's pretty useful to at least reach renown rank 5 so you can get that piece of gear, because it's a pretty strong piece of gear for like a new character or something that you're trying to get leveled up. And then he'll also sell you like a butt ton of Worm's Crest and I think Drake's Crest, which I mean we don't ever hurt for Drake's Crest, but the Worm Crests are nice. And then the raid piece of gear is nice too.
Yeah.
So there is a couple cool things. Does anyone have anything else to say about it, or any like suggestions for ways that would improve the game for you at all, or anything?
No, I think we don't have this one.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I can sit here and keep shitting on it, but
yeah, I mean we've pretty much said our piece on it, so that's fair.
Yeah, that's what you think.
That pirate.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
That Pirate's Booty item is a random 441 gear, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
Which, I mean, it's not bad. New character would be great.
Yeah,
again,
not bad if you're not geared up, for sure.
And again, to anybody that is enjoying doing it, good on you. That's cool. I mean,
I mean, we're not like haters. Like,
don't let anybody knock things you're having fun with ever.
Enjoy yourself, everybody. Okay, so I know you don't have a lot of time, Golden, so I think we'll go ahead and let you get into you had some like stuff you wanted to say.
Yeah, so I don't know, just like you guys, watching different WoW, I guess content creators and everything else. Everybody's talking about the War Within. Everybody's talking about with Plunderstorm, because that's new, and the changes that are coming to Mythic Plus. And for myself, Mythic Plus is the biggest piece, for me at least, that I enjoy in World of Warcraft, because it's a challenge. I don't like doing some of the stuff in WoW because some of it is literally either a chore or it's just so easy that it's not appealing.
Trivial.
Yeah. And the biggest thing I wish they would change with World of Warcraft, though I don't think we'll see this happen, at least not within the War Within, is something I feel like needs to happen with leveling. Is not fun in World of Warcraft. It's not fun. That's why there's a $60 boost. And I know that for Blizzard to change things, they don't really have an incentive to, because they're making money from it not being that good. You know, they get $60 because people don't enjoy it. I wish they would do things with leveling and really bring that back into the game as something you can enjoy and possibly have a challenge with. I mean, what if you could change the difficulty, right? Or what if you could do different things, make the game more dynamic when you're leveling? Maybe like mobs are more difficult during night cycles, or you know what I mean? But I feel like something has to happen with leveling, because when I look at WoW as a whole, I realize like, wow, for what I pay every month to play the game, and I collecting mounts is awesome. Battle pets, you know, that's personal if you like that or not. But I really only deeply enjoy a very small percentage of the, I would say is a small percentage of the end game, right? And then when it comes to leveling, I don't look forward, other than learning a new class, I don't look forward to it. And I wish there was something more with leveling that made it as enjoyable, that makes me as excited as when we all get grouped up and we jump into a Mythic Plus dungeon. I wish leveling had some sort of appeal that was similar or was an option for you when leveling. And again, I don't know what all other things you could change to accomplish that, but I just think that would be really awesome for Blizzard to take a look at leveling and consider doing something better with it.
Yeah. I know that going to the War Within, the new leveling experience is supposed to be Dragonflight, right? So I know one thing that will be different with that is you will have flying from the beginning. So that's kind of a change that should speed things up a lot for you.
Well, you kind of had it in Dragonflight. I think 61, maybe 62 at the worst, but probably 61. You pretty much got to the Ruby Dragonflight, and they're like, here's your dragon and stuff.
But now you'll get it like from the very beginning almost.
Yeah, I don't mean when you're going from expansion with the max level character and you start the new expansion, you only got to go 10 levels. I'm talking about when you start a new character. Do any of you guys actually really enjoy, other than going, oh god, this is going to be so great once I get them to max level, but do you really enjoy like what you're doing when you're leveling a character? Fully?
So and I'm sure Donnix can chime in on this one too, the big factor of like the history of WoW for now, like Shadowlands expansion before this, you didn't have the 2 talent trees where every single level you had something to do, which is like old school WoW. Like we played Classic enough to where every level you got a point. I felt like in WoW Classic and those old talent trees, you're like, oh cool, I got 1% more crit or something, like, ooh baby, watch out. Now it's like you actually get a whole skill, or that skill now has a 30% chance to proc blah blah blah. Like every talent feels good. If you're used to the character, it really doesn't matter much. And if you're running off of like a meta, it doesn't matter as much. But Shadowlands, for instance, and like the big change they made to now, which is kind of where we're on, is Shadowlands, every 15 levels, you got a new talent of one of 3 choices to choose from. And some of them were reasonably drastic. Yeah. And so you're going 14 levels. And this was back before the crunch and everything. So they had like levels 120 or something like that. And so I don't know. It's pretty fast leveling already, getting to 60, and then 60 to 70 is that little currently in Dragonflight, and it's interesting. I don't know what there is to do that's outside the normal paradigm of of it.
I'm not worried about speed. I worry about the quality of content, or the desire for the content. Yeah, like the engagement in it.
Making it more interesting.
This isn't a WoW only problem either. I mean, there's plenty of MMOs where like just grind it, just level the character, because the fun starts when you get to max level. I don't have the answer necessarily of how to fix all that, whether you could incentivize either getting certain gains either through gold or something for doing certain things on a harder difficulty, or I don't know, just something. I would like to see something change in World of Warcraft with leveling to make it more fun.
Yeah. I mean, for me, usually when I'm leveling, I'm experiencing something that I haven't done before. I know for someone like Donnix or VindowViper, you guys have kind of seen a lot of WoW, like since the beginning stuff. But for me, I haven't played most of this stuff, and some of it's not the most exciting things going on. So there's definitely moments where like, okay, how many times do I need to like collect 10 beaver pelts or some shit? But I'm usually also learning a new character, and that's the most exciting part for me is I don't know all these abilities, and I don't know all these talent trees. So every time I level up, I am.
You're muted.
Yeah, you muted.
You hit like spacebar or something.
There's such panic.
Yeah, I hit spacebar. What did you hear last?
Even then, you loaded new characters, but
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just. I was just finishing that.
It's like an MMO problem.
MMO.
You know, the new content is meant for existing players, not new players. So with a game like WoW that's been out for so long, everything before, you know, the last 3 expansions are pretty antiquated. They're not really.
Yeah.
I don't know what they could do to make it more interesting. I mean, when you level now, you might see like 1 or 2 people in an area. It's not like the big pushes in the past where, you know, even if you were 4 expansions in, you still saw a good amount of people in the different leveling zones. It's just not that way anymore.
Well, because you had to like level your way through those expansions. Oh, hey, I'm 58. I can go to the Outlands and then go till 70 or 68, and then now I can go to Lich King stuff, Northern.
I guess I'm just, as someone who I have several other characters on different realms or on different servers, so it's like old news for me to level a character. Mm-hmm. I have a general gist of like, I'm not going to have a problem. Like Donnix said, it's designed for the new player, right? So Goat, for instance, maybe for him, it was a fun experience to level. But once you've made several tunes or you've moved from one realm to another server, it's just like, God, man. And I don't know what the right answer is to make something different, but I wish they would take a chance in that direction versus coming up with Plunderstorm.
Well, I will say.
Well, I mean, that's a really hard, like, kind of problem to fix because how often are you making a new character? I mean, right now, when we're getting back into it, we're kind of making a lot of new characters.
Yes.
But the longer we're kind of in the swing of this, how often are we going to be making new characters?
You're talking about making a new character, like you go to a new realm, but you've already had a warrior, a shaman, and all these things before. So it's not new. It's old hat. Like you already know how a shaman works. Like you might be looking at a talent tree a little different than last time, but you're still like, cool, I'm throwing lightning bolts and I'm casting chain heals. You know what I mean? Like I know what I'm doing.
Right.
So I get that.
Yeah. I really don't know how you could fix that though, because I know that they added the whole, you know, you talk to Chromie and you kind of pick where you level up. Other than like,
I kind of wish you had a delve system. You know how they talk about bringing the delves, and the delves that's basically end game, right? Like solo. You can group up though. I wish that there was something for if you already have a max level character or something to that degree, you could choose a completely different route of leveling the character that maybe provides you more of a challenge because you're already going to grasp at the rotation quickly. I wish there were just something more there, you know, for the not new player, you know.
I don't know. I understand the sentiment for sure.
Right.
If you figure it out, Blizzard will pay you a lot of money to fight.
I don't know. They're already making a lot of money by not changing it. That's the other thing. Yeah, I don't think they would want to.
There's a benefit.
I know they have, you know, some money from both you.
They got
and
some money
Donnix.
from me. That's for sure.
They got way too much money from me.
I've never paid for a boost, and I don't know if I ever will.
What does it cost to like?
You say that now.
It's 60, right?
Yeah, it's 60. Yeah, it depends how valuable is your time, right?
Yeah, what is it, like 12, 15 hours if you're like straight, like nailing it, maybe 20?
Yeah.
15 hours for like, let's say 20 hours for 60. Yeah, dude, that's $2 an hour. I mean, go work at a Denny's for an afternoon and then just quit. And then like, cool.
Yeah.
I worked a 5-hour shift with Margaret. And I'm naming my character Margaret just because she was terrible.
Yeah.
What if there was like some sort of like XP buff for if you already got max level characters?
Yes. Or a different route to take, right?
Heirlooms have helped quite a bit.
Well, they nerfed them.
Mm-hmm.
They're not as good as they used to be at all.
They give you rested experience for longer is really the point.
Which means you have to stop playing to play.
Yeah. And there's other games other MMOs that once you have an end level character, any ult you make has an experience boost. And it makes sense. Because you've already gone through the story. You're not playing the game for the story. You're playing the game to get to where your main is or whatever.
Yeah, and they actually, at BlizzCon, they had announced that when you are getting renown with one character, you only have to do it with that character. You don't have to max it out with new characters going forward. So what if they had some sort of like permanent XP buff for once you have a maxed out character on that realm? I think that would be pretty helpful, and a lot of people would appreciate that.
And they have like little trimmings of that too, like Dragonflight, right? And all those little medallions you get that give you the extra valors and all that stuff, or vigor. And you can, like, those move over. So when you make a new character and you get to Dragonflight's content, you have X amount of coins to spend or whatever, which is, kind of in the right direction.
Or here's an idea: make leveling optional. You're paying for the sub. Why does leveling
just
have
straight
to
up
be
make
required?
a max level character?
Because they'll make $60 on it.
Yeah, they definitely won't do that. Because
no, I know they won't. But that's what I'm trying to say is cool. You're a new player. Enjoy the leveling process. I wish you'd have at it.
Do like a WoW token thing where you can buy a leveling boost token for 4 WoW tokens or something. Because people that want to grind and have a bunch of gold, they can buy a boost without having to spend $60.
Yeah.
Accordingly.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are just something I wanted to talk about. Yeah,
we'll talk more about in future episodes about some other features or complaints that we have.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll quickly talk about how last night's stream went. What did you guys think of that whole experience?
Yes, please tell me.
Dude.
Oh yeah,
that was a blast. That was so much fun pushing those keys like that.
Except for Waycrest Manor, but yeah, I agree.
Except for Waycrest,
yeah, it got a little bit rough in Waycrest, but
as is
we still timed it. We still timed it.
Yeah, we timed every key despite difficulties. I just think it was it was a challenge, but it wasn't. I don't feel like we walked away feeling defeated from any of it.
No, it was a blast. I really enjoyed it. We had our buddy CK in the comments for a long time. He was just throwing out knowledge at us. So yeah, it was super fun. We kind of set it up to where we were each like on the left-hand side of the screen. We started with like a battleground, and then we ran through didn't we do 4 mythics?
We did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we did Everbloom 6, Waycrest 9.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a 9?
Yeah, it was a 9.
Yeah.
Then we did Blackrook 10 and Everbloom 11.
Yes.
Yep.
Correct.
And we timed them all, and I was playing on my Protection Paladin. Golden was on his Resto Shaman. Which Warlock spec do you run? Demonology, right?
Yep.
And then Vindo, you started playing with your Evoker, and then you switched over to your Mage on the 3rd dungeon?
Third. We decided 2 and 2.
So yeah, it went really well. The stream was a little bit weird to set up. We're gonna have to work on that a little bit more. We might try using Riverside that we use for the podcast for the next stream. But it'd be nice if we could at least do like a stream a week of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm. And more PvP. You guys got to get gear.
Oh yes,
it's terrible right now because you guys are just getting stomped.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I got like 5 guys fighting me at once, and I'm like holding my own. I was like, man, if I had one of you guys geared with me, we'd just be tearing them apart.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into more of the PvP. The battlegrounds that I've played have been super fun. I think out of 6 that I've played, I've only won 1, but I've still been having fun despite the losses. It's a fun time. I think we'll all have fun if we all get into it like that. But other than that, I think we had a couple comments, right? Okay, from our last podcast.
There's your thumbnail.
What did he do? I missed
it later. You'll see it later.
Thumbnail.
Oh, what'd you do, bro? Okay,
Watch
from
find out.
podcast 12, we had CK said, great hearing about more of your M+ adventures. Just a heads up on Fire Mage, it's a notoriously hard spec to learn. So I know you can speak on that, Vindo. Did you agree with that statement?
Not hard at all. I'm pretty amazing. So, you know.
Yeah, that...
there's like 3 phases. Your normal like build phase, then there's combustion phase, and then there's like sun god phase, and you're kind of jumping in and out of each one, and you're using your cooldown reductions often and trying to just make everything work. And there's a little bit of juggling, making sure you're not burning up certain skills, because once you enter your combustion phases, you need to have like fire blasts and phoenix flames and stuff like ready, and so you don't want to use what's more or less a good rotational skill unless you're in like the I want to use this to burn mode. And then gearing helps too. If you're a new fire mage starting out, it takes crit. You got to get a lot of crit, and so low level fire maging, you're not going to crit a bunch. You're not going to get your free pyroblast procs, and it's going to take you a long time to get to that damage output. But once you hit a little bit of a crit threshold, you'll be really happy about it.
Yeah, I think that comment's stemming from us talking about Aspen learning Fire Mage.
That's exactly what that was in reference to.
Yeah.
So yeah, shifting gears, man. And then what else did we have? I did a little video on Plunderstorm. I like pumped that shit out in just a couple hours. On the Plunderstorm video, we had Patrick on, said, garbage, what a waste of time and resources. So I couldn't exactly disagree with that statement, but I'm not like super negative on it. I don't think it's like this horrible abomination or anything. It's just not like what I wanted, you know, and that's fine. Different strokes and all that.
Well,
It
again,
feels like, yeah, go ahead.
I appreciate the effort, but no one asked for it.
I'm happy they're willing to like do interesting things. I don't think it was that interesting. I feel like it's old content, old hat, old crud that they're just kind of trying to ride a wave. Here's the biggest problem is Blizzard's struggling, man. They got a lot of staff that have left or been let go. There's a huge issue in the gaming industry right now where people are getting let go left and right. And so good talent and good pay and consistency is hard. They don't have the opportunity, especially going into whatever market we're going into, to misstep. And this feels like a misstep. And I really want to see them succeed because I'm a Blizzard fanboy. I'll admit it. I've loved them since Lost Vikings, man. It's fantastic stuff, and it's really hard to see them in the current state they are.
Well, and I think I can't remember who I was watching, but I was watching a video talking about the event, and evidently Blizzard Activision had picked up the development company that did there's a battle royale game that was like all magic. I can't remember what it was called.
Was it Spellbreakers?
Yes, Spellbreakers, and I'm pretty sure that this is what that group was working on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think that they kind of have the right idea in expanding WoW into other, you know, styles of game, because it's only really, you know, RTS obviously, and then the MMO. But I think WoW is like a strong enough IP that they could be breaking out into this other stuff, and maybe this is them just kind of testing some new technology, testing some, you know, waters with this a little bit. But it might be, like you said, Vindo, a little bit of a misstep. But I have seen a lot of people that are actually enjoying it, even though not us in particular.
I mean, and it's WoW's always behind on stuff. Heroes of the Storm came out after Dota 2 and League has been out for a while. And don't get me wrong, I really enjoy Heroes of the Storm. I actually prefer that over the other MOBAs, but I'm also not like an intense MOBA player. And the reason I like it is because I don't have to play the item game that you have to do in League and Dota, where there's always a meta changing on items and you need to be perfect with it. It does add a layer of skill and capability. I don't have it, and so I give a lot of respect to the people that play it well and do good at it. But it's weird. It feels behind. It feels dated, almost half baked too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason it bothers me so much is because like even with the struggles that Blizzard has going on right now, things seem to be going down a good path for WoW. Like things are planned out. There's exciting things coming on. And then all of a sudden they throw this out and it's like, where the fuck did this come from? Like, what are you working on? Like you're showing us all this like cool shit that's going to be coming. And then out of nowhere, you give us a battle royale, which like I said, if you love it, great. That's awesome. But there's so much other stuff that WoW players have been wanting and asking for, and I don't think a battle royale was one of them.
Well, and here's the crazy part too. WoW isn't an amazing place. They just replaced, like they just showed a thing on the WoW subreddit regarding establishing your relationship with your players. They actually have record post-launch stability. Like they have 7.25 million subscribers, more than the peak at release of Dragonflight. So they're growing. Like it's actually getting bigger. And this is including not just retail, but this includes Classic, the new Season of Discovery stuff that they were doing.
And the Cata coming.
Yep.
Right.
Cataclysm Classic is definitely there. So it's a big thing too. Here's the other thing too. Blizzard has a ton of IPs that they can play with that they've had a bunch of weird canceled stuff. StarCraft 2 has been struggling. They used to have StarCraft Ghost that was like in the mix for a long time.
Oh, yeah. That was like the whole thing.
And it just never came out. But you have so many cool possibilities, especially with obviously no longer fantasy world, so it's different. But and Warcraft's easy because I'll equate it to like the new Mustang Mach-E from Ford. It's not a Mustang. Everybody's upset about it, but the name sticks. And so when you say World of Warcraft Plunderstorm, everybody goes, "Oh my god, wow, World of Warcraft! I know that." And then it's like cool, and technically it's in World of Warcraft areas and it has World of Warcraft-y things, but it could have been a different IPs or standalone.
Yeah, that might have been a better place to test the waters. And if they wanted to say that they're doing this to get new players, like they could have made this mode free. Yeah. But you have to have a sub to play this.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we had CK commented on that video as well. This is a strange one. Unexpected for sure. Hoping this is a genuine attempt at creating fun new gameplay, not just a cynical, let's leverage our huge MMO player base to grab a piece of the Battle Royale mode profits pie. The Mogs could be cool for an outlaw rogue tune, at least. And that is fair enough.
Why not a warrior? Why can't you have pirate warriors? Especially armed warriors with like 2 swords.
Well, I mean, that could work as like a very mad, angry pirate.
And the one thing I will say about that is that, you know, they're not, other than having to have a subscription, there's no other cost to it. So I don't see it as a money grab. I just see it as a weird implementation. Yeah,
because there really isn't any. There's no like thing you can buy for it at all, even. No. Right?
No battle
but
pass,
I mean,
no in-game.
Maybe if they made it free, I could at least understand we're trying to bring a new, younger audience into WoW, but maybe that's
unless it's like their way of seeing if a solo Blizzard Battle Royale game would work. I mean,
yeah, it could
be like a test, I guess, but
well, and I think like look at like Hearthstone, right, which is pretty much just card WoW, and it's like Magic WoW more or less, and it started off kind of weak, and everybody's like, oh, but then the gameplay was unique and good and well done, and it's a new entry, and now you're seeing tons of people making card games off of their IPs. League of Legends is doing it.
I think I had seen some charts saying that Hearthstone is kind of like one of the top performing card games. I think it performs even better than Magic, digitally at least. I'm not sure if I'm just making shit up. I thought I had seen something to that effect.
Yeah, I mean, Magic Arena is fantastic, and I'm actually wanting to get back into it because they got Commander now, and they didn't have Commander before. And
do they have full-blown Commander, or is it still the Brawl?
I haven't seen. So, but before, they never had anything Commander related because obviously there's so many interactions out there that it's probably truly impossible to do it like crazy, but I might have to go dabble in it again and see what it's like because I
have to jump back into it.
I really like Magic Arena as well. I wish they would add a little bit more to the multiplayer aspect where you could, play with multiple friends.
Mm-hmm. Well, if they do Commander right, then you can.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Because I'm down for my favorite thing about Commander is the little power creep that happens where the meta changes. Oh man, Donnix just played this green creature that's just nasty huge, and he brings it from his graveyard. So, I'll have something that can just kill massive creatures, and then Mikey will be like, "Oh hey, I need to get graveyard clearance and stuff." And then the next time something happens, then now I got something crazy, and you guys are like, "Oh crap, I got to counter it." And just every time you play, it gets better and better.
Somebody's getting excited.
Oh shit! We're turning this into a Magic the Gathering podcast.
Mikey, Goat, and I. We were playing Arena there for a while. Yeah, we were playing together.
Okay, I'm going to continue on.
Go for it, bud.
Let's go with the next
Sea Fart Fire Truck said, "Gotta love that P alliteration." And that's just from when I was reading the post during that video. Whoever made that script was having a fun time because there's a lot of P words going on.
What is the name of this user that made the comment?
Sea Fart Fire Truck.
I'm sorry, what? Say it slower.
They've commented on a bunch of our stuff, but you kind of haven't been here for the last few podcasts. So, Sea Fart Fire Truck.
I love you, Sea Fart.
Okay, what else did we have? Oh, then we had, last comment we had was...
Were all the names out for you when you made your YouTube account?
That's got to be in reference to something.
Fantastic.
I'm assuming so.
Okay, Dr. Havoc 1. LOL, wow. So now let's play WoW's version of Fortnite. Why? And I can understand. We've kind of all said our piece on it, I think. So, did anybody else have anything before we wrap this up?
I've been reviewing War Within. I don't want to say anything about what I actually saw, but that's the new hero talent stuff. Mm-hmm. And I liked the idea we were talking about class fantasies, oh hey, you have a Frostfire mage and now you can kind of meld both and whatnot. I'm a little worried, so I'll hold off until actual release, but a lot of the talents, they just seem like more stats. It seems like more so-and-so. Maybe you might get a 10% chance to do this, and then the later talents are increasing that percentage or more of one stat. I'll reserve until it comes out. It's got me worried, but
yeah.
I'm wrong.
Well, I had kind of seen something like that too. I know that there's a couple thrown around that are oh, your character grows 10% bigger or something for the Colossus one for I think Warrior,
yeah.
And that's kind of a little bit more exciting than just
and some flavor.
Add 20% damage or something.
I'm gonna have a massive gnome warrior, and it's gonna be amazing.
A human-sized gnome.
It's half the size of a Draenei.
So yeah, I mean, I agree. I would like the hero talents to be, if they're gonna be, they're supposed to be class fantasy. I want them to be flavorful and visual things that you can see, not just here's a bunch of passives on this tree that will kind of force you to use this ability a little bit more. Where it's that's not really helping out my class fantasy. Okay, so that's the podcast, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe, help support the What's My Role channel. Check us out on our live streams. We'll be trying to do at least one a week if we can swing it. Find us on YouTube, TikTok, IG, Facebook as What's My Role or What's My Role MMO. We play in the Muradin realm on the Alliance side. If you want to apply to join our guild, the Mythic Mafia, hit us up in the comments or introduce yourself in the Discord. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. See you next week.
Come join us. We want to start raiding. Make an alt. Come join us.
Let's go.
Yes.
Go. Take us out of here. Drive us. Go.
Floor it.